Alright guys, so I got my vlogging camera back, the Sony RX100 Mark III. So on, I think it was September 2nd, I sent it into them because it was having some problems. When the lens would extend, so when it would go out like that, you'd hear this buzzing noise. And when I was recording things, it would be picked up and it was almost masking what I was saying over the camera. It was bothering me. And at first I thought it was the actual camera. I thought it was just a normal, part of its functions. But I was watching other people's videos that use the same camera, weren't experiencing it at all. So I hit up Sony. Ends up that all Sony cameras are on like a year warranty, even though I bought it on Amazon. I didn't buy it directly from Sony. And it works really cool for the repair department because you send it in and then they give you this link where you can track, when they receive it, if it's being worked on, if parts are ordered, when it ships out, and then you get a tracking number. So the process working with Sony on getting something fixed was absolutely wonderful. I mean, customer service, hands down, 10 out of 10 on their part. And then they give you like a diagnostic sheet of what they fixed and what was wrong with it. So they had to order some sort of cable assembly and then a lens. I guess the lens itself was actually broken. So my camera's back. I can do more vlogging now. It's just super convenient to carry this thing around as opposed to the 70D. So it's back. My baby's back. All right, guys, so we're gonna get into this Q&A I posted on Instagram yesterday. If you missed out and you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and do so at Bear Performance Nutrition right here. And then you won't miss out on the next one. So getting right into the questions. I posted this a little less than 24 hours ago, and within that time I received about 162 questions. So I'm not gonna be able to go through all of them, obviously. It would end up being like an hour and a half video. But I'll go through the ones that kind of will hit, topics that I think a lot of people will be interested in, and ones that I personally want to answer. First question is from Tim Thibodeau. When are we collabing? Tim has one of those channels I've been following for probably the past year and a half, like since he started his YouTube channel, which I think was maybe 2 years ago. And I want to start doing collabs with people on YouTube and people in the fitness industry and stuff. People I follow on Instagram and on YouTube and social media are Tim, Christian Guzman, Max Tuning, Brandon Campbell, a lot of like the more popular YouTubers, and then some smaller channels as well. But I do want to start doing collabs with other YouTubers to kind of grow my channel and then just reach out and build some sort of relationship with other YouTubers. A question that was asked a few times in regards to my company and am I going to come out with any new products or supplements. And to tell you the truth, at this point where my company's at, I'm not going to branch out and do any more supplements for at least the next year and a half while I'm still in the Army. Reason being is, as you guys probably know, the supplement industry and market is becoming super saturated. Like, companies coming out of nowhere. Everyone that has, 20,000 plus followers on any social media site seems like they're coming out with a pre-workout. And I kind of did it the opposite way. I started up when I was in college, junior, with no social media started at all. And to tell you the truth, it was really hard building some sort of buzz behind my company. And now that I'm kind of getting more followers, the company's getting more recognition and more awareness, which is really cool and I really appreciate it. But I'm not at the level right now where I can start adding more products, and I'm not ready to grow yet. I want to grow organically within the company, and I think bringing in more supplements and spending more money on inventory is just outside my means for the time being. How do you break out of your comfort zone when you are living with an eating disorder? And this is something that's brought up in a lot of videos because people think, I do these food eating contests or challenges and these cheat meals. I think I have, an eating disorder still. And from my honest perspective, I am completely 100% over this eating disorder. And food to me now has a completely different meaning to what it did years ago when I had my eating disorder. And I can look at it different, and I can eat something that I want, and the next day, not even think about it. No regret. And I'd say that I'm completely over this eating disorder. Food will always have some sort of meaning more to me than, the average person, like the guy mowing the grass across the street from me right now. I look at food with macros and nutrition and as numbers. Even though I still will eat what I want to enjoy, I look at it like you guys do. Like most fitness, enthusiasts or macro trackers, even clean eaters look at food. It's fuel for the body. It's fuel for what you're about to do. It's not just something to eat for the time being. When are you going to pick a new sponsored athlete? So this is something I'm going to work on when I get back from NTC. Probably mid-November I'll start doing the whole challenge and competition and what it's going to entail. I really don't know how I want to do it yet. I've done like voting contests in the past for sponsored athletes. and it didn't really work out in my favor. And I'm going to be really picky with who I choose and, who represents the brand itself, because it also represents me as a person in the company. So I'm going to be looking into some different options on how to choose a sponsored athlete in the next month or so, but I'll definitely make a video on it when I decide. Elliott Fitness also wants to know when we're collabing. I will collab with anyone. You don't have to be a YouTuber. If you just like working out, you like eating in your local area, hit me up and I'll try to find time or a day or a weekend where we grab a workout, we film something, we grab some food, and we just chill for a little bit. How do you deal with knee pain from longer distance runs for PT? So you guys know I'm in the Army, and we do running probably, I'd say, 3 to 4 times a week. My platoon specifically does a lot of running. That's what I like to do at PT, because I like doing my strength training, in the gym. So when I find myself squatting heavier, so really focusing on powerlifting and lower reps, higher weight, I do get joint problems in my lower body running, and it's a pain. Like it does bother me to a certain extent, and that's why I've been kind of focusing on more higher reps, moderate weight, and it's taken a huge load off my joints, my knees, my ankles, my hips, and allowing me to run so much better, so much more comfortable. And I think weight has a lot to do with that too. So if I hover around 210, 212, running just feels that much easier than say I'm 215, 216. Like those 3 extra pounds, believe it or not, feel like the biggest difference to me. What college did you attend, and who's your favorite college football team? So I went to this school in Western PA called Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Has no affiliation with Indiana University. It's just in a town called Indiana in Pennsylvania. Completely confusing, I know, and it always drives people crazy. There's a school like 45 minutes down the road from Indiana University of Pennsylvania called California University of Pennsylvania in the town of California. It makes no sense. They're thinking about changing it, I heard, to Western University of Pennsylvania, which just works so much better. That's where I went to school. I studied nutrition and then a minor in business administration. Favorite college football team, Penn State. I was like an hour and a half from Penn State, and me and my buddies would go up there on the weekends and tailgate. They had like the best tailgating scene because it's this huge open field in the valley of State College, and you just grab a few beers, you grab a grill, and you hang out there. And my buddies went to school there, so we'd all meet up and go out afterwards, and it was just always a good time. What is your goal in life? My goals, I'd say my short-term goals change pretty frequently. My long-term goals, I'd say, for one, is to work for myself. So create my own business hours, create my own schedule. That's just one of the things I've always wanted to do. I mean, just be successful. And success in general is kind of on an individual terms and basis. But success for me is doing what I want to do and being completely happy. This is one of the most common questions on my videos. What do you do with Leroy's on days that you are gone from home or long periods of time, like California coming up? So like when I work long days, I'll come home from lunch sometime, leave him out, just to go to the bathroom, refill his water. And he's fine. He sleeps most of the day. He's active at night when I'm home. But if I'm going to be on for a week at a time, I'll either have a friend check on him and leave him out, play with him, take him to the park and stuff. Or there's these people that are like 30 minutes away that watch people's dogs when they're gone. They have this huge farm. So that's where I'm going to take him when I go to California, and he's going to hang out with other dogs and live on this huge fenced-in farm for a month. He's going to love it. Are you still thinking about personal training? I can't do it right now because my schedule is just too crazy. It being in the Army and all the other stuff with Bear Performance Nutrition and the channel, personal training online would just be too much. But I get out of the Army in about 1.5 years, 2 years, and then that's when I'm going to start some personal online training for people that are interested and see where that goes. But my opportunities of things that I want to do after the Army are pretty open right now. I'm open to trying a bunch of new things, but online personal training and building this channel up is something I'm definitely interested in. Is your brother Preston stronger than you? Yes. And I did some creeping on that guy's picture or account that asked that. Looks like you go to college with my brother. Bro, have you ever gone out of the country? I have been to Mexico 3 times with my family. So, occasionally in the summer or even the winter, we'll go on like all-inclusive resort style vacations, which is like an absolute blast. So, you pay like an upfront fee, and it's pretty expensive, but you get like the flight included, you get all the food you want, all the drinks, To me, it's worth it. You know, you can enjoy yourself, eat all the food you want, drink all the cheap Mexican beer you want, and lay on the beach all day. How awesome is Texas? I'm curious, what drives, motivates you daily? Is it a person, place, thing, goal, etc.? I love Texas. I absolutely love being in Texas. I like Austin, so I go there, you know, on the weekends and stuff. The summer is hotter than I thought it'd be. This being my first Texas summer, was not ready for it. I spent the last summer in Georgia, the summer before that in Pennsylvania. And Georgia's summers were hot, but I mean, last summer I was in ranger school, so I was probably 30 pounds lighter than what I am now. So it didn't feel as hot. But this summer in Texas, over 100 degrees every day for like 2 months straight. Brutal. But when I was in ranger school last summer, I mean, we had guys being heat casualties every day. Like people convulsing, people severely dehydrated. It was crazy. I never heat catted. I was always afraid I was, because if you heat catted, there was the opportunity or the chance that you'd have to leave the school because of medical reasons. And you ended up getting a thermometer up your butt, which didn't happen. How do you balance weightlifting with PT so you don't compromise your performance at PT? This is something that my guys kind of mention all the time. You know, for being 215 pounds, which isn't too big, but I run pretty good for as big as I am. I mean, I can lead a formation in a run. I get about a 13-minute on my 2-mile run. But running's one of those things I don't enjoy doing outside of PT. It's one of those things where I put my head down, and we used to call it Kaiser, because when I'm in high school, I did cross country, and there's this guy that ran, just put his head down and just pumped his arms. And that's kind of how I feel about running. I hate it, but I'll do it to stay in shape for the Army. And I figure if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it at 100%. How old is Leroy? He is turning 2 December 1st. Do you cycle creatine? No. 5 grams a day, every day, creatine monohydrate. You don't have to cycle it. Do you have a girlfriend? The question that a lot of you guys are probably wondering because of the title of this video, which it was related to my camera if you didn't pick up on that. No girlfriend. Not one. Do you ever plan on using your degree for a career? Degrees in nutrition. To tell you the truth, I was looking online the other day just to see what kind of jobs I could get with a nutrition degree. And I came across a few that would be interesting. So I use LinkedIn a lot for like a personal resume online. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, it's perfect because you can put, you know, where you went to school, your degree. People can endorse you for certain achievements and abilities, and you can put information about your job and what you do. So I built a pretty good resume with, you know, my degree, what I do in the Army, my current job and position, what I've done, what schools I've been to, and then what I do with Bear Performance Nutrition. Favorite rear delt exercise. So the reason I'm touching this one is because I found one recently, which works out really well. So you stand with the cable machine, and say the cable attachment's over here. All right, so with this arm, your left arm, the opposite arm, you hold that attachment, the cable, and you pull it in front of you, and you keep your arm straight, and you'll feel that in your rear delt. It's just a contraction in the rear delt. You don't need much weight, but a lot of reps, a few sets, and you'll definitely feel it. I did that for the first time probably 3 weeks ago, and the next day, my rear delts have never been so sore. So cable attachment, pull across from you, keeping your body straight, and contracting the rear delt. Does IIFYM work for everybody? Yeah, why not? It's just tracking your calories and your macros, being consistent. Everyone can have results with IIFYM. IIFYM is no secret diet. It's no, secret pill you drop in your food and you get aesthetically ripped. It's just being consistent with your nutrition. Why did you choose the Army and not other branches? So when I was a senior in high school, I decided I want to apply for the ROTC scholarship, which was 100% tuition paid for. They give you $600 a semester for books, and they pay you each month. So your freshman year, you get $300. Sophomore year is $350. Junior year is $400, and senior year is $500 a month. Just money in your pocket, tax-free. And that's if you get the scholarship, if you're awarded. So I did the application for the Army scholarship, and I did it for the Marine Corps scholarship. And the Marine Corps scholarship was more competitive, so I didn't get that one. And I got the Army ROTC scholarship. So 100% scholarship, school paid for. And then you have to choose a school that has that ROTC program available. So that's why I chose IUP. Do you think tracking macros is helpful for someone recovering from an eating disorder? So It's hard for me to answer that because when I was getting over my eating disorder, I didn't know anything about tracking macros. I really didn't even work out at that point. My first instinct after that was, all right, I need to put some weight on. So I just ate whatever I wanted. It wasn't like binging. It was slowly incorporating more food and getting comfortable with food. And it wasn't until like years later that I was finally comfortable with eating whatever I wanted and not thinking about food. And then I started tracking macros because I was doing a show. That's what got me into tracking macros, is I wanted to cut down for my bodybuilding competition in 2013. And ever since then, I've been tracking macros because I saw such great success with it and being flexible and eating what I wanted, but still, making really good gains and results and seeing this high level achievement in fitness that I just kept incorporating tracking macros. And I just really enjoy that part of the fitness lifestyle, the nutrition, the training, but I'm not afraid to eat what I want on a given day, go out with friends, have a few beers, have some wings and pizza. And the next day I just get back on track and keep being consistent. I don't try to adjust off of a cheat night or a cheat meal or cheat day the next day. I just get back on track. Favorite non-fitness related hobby? I'd say music. So when I was in high school, I was in a band. I was like in a few bands. And I was the guitar player. And I still like playing music. I still have a guitar. But music is such a huge part of my life. I'm constantly, in the car, on the go, in the house, playing some sort of music. Either country, alternative, indie, really mellow, like acoustic stuff. Some rap, but rap for me is mainly in the gym. What is your go-to song to hit PRs or for your last set? So mine changes on a weekly basis, but I'll give you my top 2 right now. I have it on Spotify in my account. All right, this is it. Take One Last Breath by Abandon All Ships. Favorite beer? So I'm from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and they have this brewery called Trogs. If you are close to Hershey, Pennsylvania, like within 2 hours, you need to go visit Trogs Brewery. They have the best beer of all time, and they have really good food there, and it's a really cool atmosphere. They have these long tables. You go chill with your friends and get some really unhealthy, fatty, buttery popcorn and some good IPAs. IPA is my favorite beer. If you won the lotto, what's the first thing you would buy? I was actually thinking about this question the other day before this Q&A even came out. And first I was thinking, how many of my friends would I have to split it between? I'm definitely splitting my money between my best friends from high school. I have these group of friends, there's maybe 7 or 8 of us that have been best friends from middle school, all through high school, all through college, up until now. We just got back from Nashville in June on a bachelor party for my buddy. And I would have to split the money between them. We'd all buy a house on the same row in a neighborhood and just party all day. Party, lift weights, eat food, drink good beer. Favorite cheat meal and favorite movie? Recently I've been into Rescue Me on Netflix. Movie, I haven't seen a really good one recently. I like Netflix and chill all the time, but I spend more time looking for a movie on Netflix than actually watching movies. Favorite cheat meal is pizza. I'm actually craving one of those Pizza Hut skinny pizzas right now. For the last 3 days I've been craving one of those. How do you feel about women in Ranger School? This has been a hot topic. People even personal message me this question on YouTube. Women in Ranger School. If you can pass Ranger School, whether you're male, female, doesn't matter. If you pass, you deserve the tab. I mean, it's a hard school for anyone. And it was a hard school for me. So if you pass the school, you get the goes from your Ranger instructors. You can pass all the physical requirements. You deserve the tab in my book. Favorite places to eat in Austin and any weird experiences on 6th Street. Favorite restaurant in Austin is this diner called 24 Diner. I've brought it up before. I need to go back. Chicken and waffles. Massive size chicken and waffles. And any crazy stories about 6th Street. Not 6th Street, but last weekend or 2 weekends ago we were on Rainy Street. And there was this weird band playing there. So there was this guy with this huge white beard and this top hat playing a flute and saluting everyone. It was just weird. But it was a sweet bar. Rainy Street is awesome because it's all these old houses in Austin that were converted into bars. And it's more upscale bars. And it's more of a relaxed atmosphere. 6th Street, Dirty 6, That's like the tourist part. That's where like all the college students go. It's just madness, Snapchat. But Rainy Street is more of a, I think it's more the locals. That's where I like going more recently. By far my longest Q&A yet. Alright guys, so that wraps up the Q&A questions. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope I touched on as many as I could, but there were a lot. I mean, there were more than I could cover in one video. So I will talk to you guys in the next one.